5 life-changing habits for ages 60 to 80. Boost energy, mobility and joy without walking. Have you ever stopped to really think about how your body feels as you age? Maybe you're in your 60s, 70s or even 80s, and you've noticed that simple things, like walking around the block or getting up from a chair, don't come as easily as they used to. Perhaps you feel a little stiffer in the mornings, or your energy seems to fade faster than it did a decade ago. It's easy to brush it off and think, well, this is just what happens when you get older. But what if I told you that slowing down doesn't have to be your reality? Aging doesn't mean you have to give in to fatigue, stiffness, or a sedentary lifestyle. You have the power to reclaim your vitality, rediscover your strength, and feel good in your body again, starting right now. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 life-changing habits that can transform how you feel, no matter your age. These aren't complicated, expensive, or time-consuming fixes that require a complete overhaul of your life. Instead, they're simple, intentional shifts you can weave into your daily routine to see real, lasting results over time. Think of these habits as small seeds you plant today that grow into a stronger, more energized version of yourself tomorrow. And here's why you'll want to stick around until the very end. The last 2 habits I'll share are absolute game changers. They're not just tips, they're tools that can revolutionize your daily life, helping you move with ease, sleep with peace, and wake up ready to embrace each day with joy and purpose. Whether your goal is to stay independent, feel more flexible, or simply enjoy life more fully, this video is for you. This isn't about chasing youth or adding endless years to your life. It's about filling the years you have with life, joy, and meaning. It's about adding life to your years, not just years to your life. So, stick with me for the next 30 minutes or so, because I promise your future self will thank you for it. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more practical wellness tips designed for people just like you. If you find this video helpful, give it a like and share it with a friend or family member who might need a little encouragement too. Oh, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Drop a 1 if you're excited about these ideas, or a 0 if this isn't quite what you expected. I'm always looking to improve and make content that resonates with you. Ready? Let's get started. Habit 1. Prioritize sleep like it's your superpower. Let's begin with something we all know, but often take for granted: sleep. Have you ever really thought about how much the quality of your rest shapes your entire life? As we age, whether you're 60, 70 or 80, sleep becomes more than just a way to recharge after a long day. It's a cornerstone of your health, a quiet healer working behind the scenes to keep you strong, sharp, and steady. Yet, so many of us struggle with it. Maybe you find it hard to fall asleep, or you wake up multiple times during the night, staring at the ceiling. Perhaps you wake up feeling groggy, like you never really rested at all. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Poor sleep isn't something you have to accept as part of getting older. It's something you can change, and it starts with understanding just how powerful sleep really is. Think of sleep as your body's nightly reset button. While you're dreaming, or trying to, your immune system is hard at work repairing damage. Your brain is sorting through memories and processing the day, and your muscles are recovering from whatever you've put them through. Without enough of it, you might start to notice little cracks forming in your daily life. Forgetfulness creeps in, your patience wears thin, or even simple tasks, like standing up or walking across the room, feel harder than they should. I've experienced this myself, those mornings after a restless night, when everything feels heavier, from my body to my mood. It's like trying to run a car on an empty tank. You can push through, but it's not sustainable. But when I sleep well, It's like I've unlocked a secret energy reserve. I wake up feeling lighter, clearer, and ready to take on the day. As we age, our sleep needs don't disappear. They actually become more critical. The natural shifts in our bodies mean that disruptions hit us harder. Stress, a racing mind, or even a room that's too warm can steal your rest. I remember a time in my life when I thought staying up late to watch one more episode or scroll through my phone was no big deal. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that sleep isn't just rest. It's an act of self-respect. It's giving your body the time it needs to heal so you can show up as your best self. And the good news is, you don't need pills, expensive gadgets, or a complete lifestyle overhaul to improve your sleep. Small, intentional tweaks can work wonders. Let's start with your environment. Your bedroom should feel like a sanctuary, a place that invites calm and relaxation. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Harsh lighting can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Keep the room cool. Studies show that a temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for sleep. I love adding a soft scent to my space. Lavender works wonders for me. You can use a diffuser, a candle, or even a few drops of essential oil on your pillow. Another thing I found helpful is taking a warm bath before bed. It's like a signal to my body that it's time to unwind, and the drop in body temperature after the bath actually helps you fall asleep faster. Now, let's talk about screens. I know it's tempting to scroll through your phone or watch TV right before bed, but that blue light emitted by screens can seriously disrupt your sleep. It suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to rest. I used to be guilty of this, checking emails or watching videos late into the night. But once I started putting my phone away at least 30 minutes before bed, I noticed a huge difference. If you absolutely need something to wind down, try reading a physical book or listening to calming music instead. Here's another tip. Create a bedtime routine you actually look forward to. For me, it's a cup of chamomile tea, a few deep breaths, and sometimes a short meditation. Even 5 minutes of calm can signal to your brain that it's time to switch off. If you struggle with a racing mind, try writing down your thoughts before bed. I keep a small notebook by my bedside, and jotting down my worries or to-do list for the next day helps me let go and relax. Another thing to consider is consistency. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your body's internal clock. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I went through a period of chronic sleep issues. I'd lie awake for hours, my mind racing with worries about the future. I felt exhausted all the time, and it started to affect everything: my mood, my energy, even my relationships. I thought, maybe this is just what happens as you get older. But then I started researching and experimenting. I made small changes. I stopped drinking coffee after 2 p.m. I invested in blackout curtains, and I started a simple breathing exercise before bed, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and exhaling for 8. Within a few weeks, I was sleeping better than I had in years. I woke up feeling refreshed, not foggy, and I had the energy to tackle my day. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's your superpower. It's the foundation that supports your physical health, your mental clarity, and your emotional well-being. When you prioritize it, you're not just resting, you're investing in a stronger, happier you. So tonight, take one small step to improve your sleep. Maybe it's turning off your phone earlier or creating a calming bedtime ritual. Whatever it is, start there. When you wake up refreshed, you'll feel the difference, not just in your energy, but in your entire outlook. Sleep well and watch how it lifts everything else in your life. Habit 2. Break the sitting trap. Next up, Let's talk about something we all do far too much of: sitting. Have you ever tracked how many hours you spend in a chair each day? At the dining table, on the couch, in front of the TV, maybe even at a desk if you're still working or managing household tasks. It adds up faster than you might think. We live in a world that's built around sitting, and after a long day, sinking into that cozy spot feels like a well-deserved reward. I get it. I love my armchair as much as the next person. There's nothing better than curling up with a good book or watching a favorite show. But here's the catch. Too much sitting isn't just a harmless habit. It's a slow, silent drain on your health. And the older we get, the more it costs us. Sitting for hours on end isn't as innocent as it seems, even if it feels fine in the moment. Over time, it weakens your muscles, slows your circulation, and stiffens your joints. I've felt this myself. Those days when I sit too long, and my legs feel like they've forgotten how to move when I finally stand up. It's not just about discomfort, it's about what's happening inside your body. When you sit for extended periods, your blood starts to pool in your lower extremities, and your heart has to work harder to pump it back up. Your muscles begin to weaken, and over time, you lose the flexibility that allows you to perform even basic movements. Left unchecked, this sedentary behavior can lead to bigger issues: weight gain, diabetes, high blood pressure, and even a foggy mind. Studies have shown that prolonged sitting is linked to a host of chronic diseases that can rob us of our freedom and independence. But let's make this personal for a moment. I used to think sitting was resting. I'd tell myself, I've had a busy day. I deserve to sit down and relax. And while rest is important, I started to notice how sluggish I felt after long periods of sitting. My mood would dip, my back would ache, and I'd feel less like myself. Movement isn't just physical, it's mental. When I sit all day, I'm not just stiff, I'm less engaged, less present. I've seen this in others too. I have a friend in her 70s who used to be so active. She'd garden, walk her dog, and always be on the go. But over the years, she started sitting more, and now she struggles to get up from her chair without help. It breaks my heart because I know how much her independence means to her. That's what's at stake here, not just your health, but your freedom. The good news? You don't need to overhaul your life to fix this. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym. Small, consistent changes can make a huge difference. Start by standing up every hour, even if it's just for a minute. Stretch your arms, shake out your legs, or pace around the room. If you're watching TV, march in place during the commercials. Walk to the kitchen to grab a glass of water instead of asking someone else to get it for you. If you're out running errands, park a little farther from the store entrance so you have to walk a bit more. These aren't workouts, they're lifelines. They're tiny acts of care that keep your body active and your mind sharp. Here's a practical tip I've found helpful. Set a timer on your phone to remind you to move. I set mine for every 45 minutes, and when it goes off, I stand up, do a quick stretch, and walk around for a minute or two. It's not much, but it adds up over the day. Another idea is to make movement part of your routine in a way that feels natural. For example, if you're on the phone with a friend, walk around the house while you talk instead of sitting. If you're waiting for the kettle to boil, do a few gentle stretches or march in place. These small actions might not seem like much, but they're building a habit of movement that protects your mobility over time. Let me share a story that really opened my eyes. A few years ago, I attended a community health workshop, and the speaker shared a study about the effects of sitting on older adults. They followed two groups of people in their 70s for a year. One group was encouraged to move every hour, even if it was just standing up and walking for a minute. The other group wasn't given any specific instructions. At the end of the year, the group that moved regularly had better balance, stronger muscles, and fewer falls. But what struck me most was their mood. They reported feeling happier, more confident, and more connected to their daily lives. The group that sat more? They struggled with mobility, felt more isolated, and had a higher risk of health issues. That study stuck with me because it showed how much power we have in the small choices we make every day. Imagine this. Every time you choose to move, you're telling your body, I'm still here. I'm still strong. It's not about running a race or lifting heavy weights. It's about keeping your independence. I've seen too many people lose that because they let sitting become their default. Don't let that happen to you. Movement is your ticket to freedom, to a life where you can still do the things you love, whether that's playing with your grandkids, tending to your garden, or simply walking to the mailbox without worry. So make a commitment today. Break the sitting trap. Start small, but start now. Your future self will thank you for it. Habit 3. Soak up the sun's magic. Now, let's step outside, literally. How often do you feel sunlight on your skin? If you're like most people over 60, probably not as often as you should. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at producing vitamin D, that quiet hero that keeps our bones strong, our muscles steady, and our immune system humming. Without enough vitamin D, we're more prone to aches, falls, and even low energy. And here's the kicker. You don't need a supplement or a doctor's visit to get it. The sun is right there, waiting to help. Free, natural, and incredibly powerful. I used to underestimate the power of sunlight. I'd stay inside most of the day, thinking it didn't make much difference. I'd tell myself, I'm fine. I don't need to go outside. But then I started learning about how much sunlight really does for us. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can boost your vitamin D levels, lift your mood, and even help you sleep better by syncing your body's internal clock. Studies show that sunlight exposure reduces stress, sharpens focus, and helps prevent bone loss. But for me, it's more than just the science. It's a feeling. Stepping outside, feeling that warmth on my skin, it's like my whole body wakes up. My aches ease, my mind clears, and I'm reminded that there's a world beyond my four walls. Let's break this down a bit. Vitamin D is crucial as we age because it helps our bodies absorb calcium, which keeps our bones strong. Without it, we're at a higher risk for osteoporosis, a condition that makes bones brittle and more likely to break. Sunlight also boosts serotonin, a chemical in your brain that makes you feel happy and calm. That's why you might feel a little brighter after spending time outside. It's not just in your head, it's biology. And then there's the sleep connection. Exposure to natural light during the day helps regulate your circadian rhythm, so you fall asleep more easily at night. It's like giving your body a gentle, natural reset every single day. You don't need to spend hours basking in the sun to reap these benefits. Start with just 10 to 15 minutes a day. Take a short walk around your neighborhood, sit on your porch with a cup of tea, or even stand by an open window and let the light flood in. If you're worried about your skin, wear sunscreen, especially if you're out for longer. But don't shy away from the sun entirely. I love mornings best for this. I'll grab my coffee, step outside, and just sit for a few minutes, feeling the sun on my face. It's a quiet moment to breathe, to start my day with intention. It's not just about health, it's about joy. Here's a personal insight. I used to live in a place where I didn't have easy access to outdoor space. I'd go days without stepping outside, especially in the winter, and I noticed how it affected me. I felt more tired, more irritable, and my joints ached more than usual. Then I made a promise to myself. No matter the weather, I'd find a way to get some sunlight every day. Even if it was just standing on my balcony for a few minutes, bundled up in a coat, it made a difference. I started feeling more energized, more at peace. It was like the sun was reminding me to slow down, to appreciate the moment. Too many of us retreat indoors as we age, but that's where we lose something vital. We miss out on the natural energy the sun provides, the way it grounds us and connects us to the world. Sunlight is a gift we can't afford to ignore. So, make it a habit, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. If you can't get outside, sit by a window and let the light in. If you're able, take a short walk or tend to a plant in your garden. It's simple, it's free, and it's yours to claim. Let the sun's magic work its wonders. You'll feel the difference in your body and your spirit. Habit 4. Wake up your legs. Let's move on to habit 4. Giving your legs some much-needed love. By the time we reach our 60s, 70s, or 80s, it's common to notice that our legs don't respond the way they used to. Maybe stairs feel like a challenge, or your knees creak when you stand up. Perhaps you've even started avoiding certain activities because you're worried your legs won't hold up. It's easy to think, well, that's it, I'm too old to change this. But that's a myth. Your legs aren't done. They're just waiting for a little attention. And you don't need a gym membership, fancy equipment, or hours of effort to bring them back to life. Weak legs don't just limit your movement. They chip away at your confidence. I've had days where I hesitated to walk too far, worried that my legs might give out or that I'd trip. It's a scary feeling, that loss of trust in your own body. But here's what I've learned. Small, consistent movements can rebuild strength and stability. You don't have to push yourself to exhaustion. Just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Let's start with something simple. Sit in a sturdy chair, hold onto the sides for support, and do slow leg lifts. Lift one leg straight out in front of you, hold for a second, then lower it back down. Do 10 on each side. If that feels easy, try standing and doing mini squats, using a table or counter for balance. Bend your knees slightly, as if you're about to sit down, then stand back up. Another great option is using a resistance band. Loop it around your thighs and step side to side to work your outer thighs. These exercises take just a few minutes, but they wake up your muscles and remind them what they're capable of. Why does this matter so much? Strong legs mean fewer falls, better balance, and the freedom to move without fear. Studies show that leg exercises can significantly reduce the risk of injury in older adults. They also improve circulation, which helps with overall energy and reduces swelling in your lower legs. For me, it's deeply personal. I want to keep exploring, not be stuck wondering if I can make it across the room. I want to be able to walk to the park, visit my friends, and live my life on my terms. And I know you want that too. Let me share a quick story. My neighbour, a lovely woman in her late 70s, used to struggle with her mobility. She'd avoid going out because she was afraid of falling, and it made her feel isolated. One day I suggested she try some simple leg exercises I'd learned. We started together, just 5 minutes a day, doing chair-based leg lifts and mini squats. At first, she was skeptical, but after a few weeks, she noticed a difference. She could stand up more easily, and she felt steadier on her feet. A few months later, she was walking to the community centre for bingo night, something she hadn't done in years. Seeing her smile, knowing she'd regained that piece of her independence, was incredible. That's the power of small, consistent effort. Here's how you can start. Pick one exercise and do it for 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's leg lifts while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, or mini squats while you brush your teeth. If you're watching TV, stand up during the commercials and do a few side steps. Every little bit counts. If you're feeling more adventurous, try walking around your house with a resistance band around your ankles. It's a gentle way to build strength. The key is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to do a lot, just do something. Your legs have carried you this far. Don't let them retire. Wake them up and feel the power return. Habit 5. Flow with yoga or Tai Chi. Finally, we've reached habit 5, and this one's a true game changer. Yoga or Tai Chi. As we age, our bodies face new challenges. Maybe you've noticed stiffness in your joints, tightness in muscles that used to feel agile, or even the simple act of standing up from a chair becoming more of a task. It can feel like we're slowly losing control over the very vessel that carries us through life. But here's the beautiful thing. Amidst all these changes, there's a lifeline. Yoga and Tai Chi are gentle, powerful practices that can transform both your physical health and your emotional well-being in ways you might not expect. And the best part? They're for everyone, no matter your age, fitness level, or experience. I stumbled into yoga later in life, and I'll admit, I was skeptical at first. I thought, I'm not flexible enough for this. I'll look silly. But then I tried a simple chair yoga class, and it changed everything. Holding a gentle stretch, breathing deeply, I felt my tension melt away. My back felt looser, my mind felt calmer, and I realized yoga isn't about being bendy. It's about listening to your body and moving with intention. Tai Chi is even more magical to me. Its slow, flowing movements feel like a dance with the air, a meditation in motion. I've done Tai Chi in my backyard, feeling the breeze guide me, and it's like my whole body and soul are in harmony. Both practices build strength, ease stiffness, and quiet your mind. Research backs this up. Yoga and Tai Chi improve balance, reduce stress, boost circulation, and lift your mood. For me, it's freedom, knowing I can bend, stand, and breathe without struggle. Let's talk about why these practices are so perfect for people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. First, they're low impact, meaning they're gentle on your joints. You're not jumping around or putting stress on your body. You're moving in a way that feels natural and supportive. Second, they improve flexibility and balance, which are crucial for preventing falls. Falls are one of the biggest risks as we age, but regular yoga or Tai Chi can help you feel steadier on your feet. Third, they're incredible for your mental health. The slow, mindful movements help you focus on the present moment, letting go of stress and worry. I've had days where I felt overwhelmed, but after 10 minutes of yoga, I felt grounded again. It's like hitting a reset button for your mind. You don't need a studio, fancy equipment, or even a lot of space to get started. You can do these practices in a quiet corner of your living room, at a park, or even in your backyard. If you're new to yoga, start with a chair-based routine. There are plenty of free videos online. Sit in a sturdy chair and try a simple stretch. Raise your arms overhead, take a deep breath, and lower them as you exhale. Or try a seated twist. Gently turn your torso to one side. Hold for a few breaths, then switch sides. For Tai Chi, start with a basic move called wave hands like clouds. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and slowly move your arms in a flowing motion, as if you're pushing clouds across the sky. It's so calming, and it works your whole body without you even realizing it. Here's a personal tip. I love doing yoga or Tai Chi in the morning, by a window with sunlight streaming in. It's my way of starting the day with intention, connecting my body and soul. I'll put on some soft music, roll out a mat, or just use the floor, and spend 10 minutes moving and breathing. Some days, I'll do a few yoga stretches. Other days, I'll flow through a Tai Chi sequence. It doesn't matter how long you do it. What matters is that you show up for yourself. Even 5 minutes of gentle movement can shift everything. Let me share one more story. A few years ago, I met a woman at a community center who was in her 80s. She'd started practicing Tai Chi after a fall left her shaken and afraid to move. At first, she could barely stand for long, but she started with seated movements and gradually worked her way up. A year later, she was doing a full Tai Chi routine in the park with a group of friends. She told me, "I feel like I've gotten my life back." That's what these practices can do. They don't just strengthen your body, they restore your confidence, your peace, your joy. So, whether you're new to yoga or Tai Chi, or you're rekindling a practice you've let go of, know this: it's never too late to start. The benefits, physical, mental, and emotional, are waiting for you. Age doesn't diminish your ability to grow, to heal, or to find peace. It only adds depth to the journey. Try it once, even for a few minutes. Pick a simple stretch or a flowing movement and see how it feels. Flow into it and let it carry you toward a healthier, more peaceful version of yourself. So there you have it. 5 habits to transform your 60s, 70s, or 80s. Prioritize sleep, break the sitting trap, soak up sunlight, wake up your legs, and flow with yoga or Tai Chi. These aren't quick fixes. They're gifts you give yourself day by day that add up to a stronger, more vibrant you. What's one habit you're excited to try? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this video resonated with you, leave a 1 below, like the video, and share it with someone who might need a little encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe for more ways to thrive at any age. Thanks for spending this time with me. Let's keep growing stronger together.